Do you think it's harder to make new friends or to keep old ones?
I think it depends on your personality, really. Like for me, I'm a fixer. So like anytime I see somebody who I think needs help or like is going through something, like I want to be there for them and I want to offer a solution. But like I know some people have a hard time keeping connections. Like my brother, for example, is usually like really quick to write people off, and I'm really quick to be the exact opposite, where like I work too hard for a friendship, and we have the same upbringing.
What is self-assurance?
You have to know how to adapt in the world and just how can I put this, how to hold yourself accountable.
Could you be in a relationship with someone you're not in love with?
No. Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be fruitful or beneficial to either party. It's more genuine if you do love someone.
When is it okay to hurt someone's feelings?
I think that we should strive to never intentionally hurt someone's feelings. I do think that sometimes it's unavoidable. If we're trying to protect our own well-being and we are feeling hurt by someone else, I think it's important to challenge them, and I think sometimes people just react out of a place of pain, and sometimes it hurts to stir that up.
What does home feel like for you?
It was scary, it was to be avoided sometimes, it was never permanent. It should be a place where you're safe and comfortable. Did it feel like a relief to have a home again? Right now it just feels weird going into people's homes. It's like, well, I used to have that, or I used to have that, with something as simple as a chair or a door. And home is where when you have to go there, they have to let you in.
How much of our social skills come naturally, and how much do we learn?
I grew up as an only child, so I feel like I never had like the opportunity to develop like social skills like on my own. It was just like through school, right, and exposure. I would say like you can force yourself to do anything you want to do. I think it's just more about discipline.
What are ways to deal with a misunderstanding?
I would suggest approach it with curiosity, ask questions. I think it is important to know when to walk away. You know, not like give up on that person per se, but maybe take space between conversations, or if they're not willing to do that with you, you can't force it.
Would you rather be poor and loved or rich and hated?
Well, that's tough. I think poor and loved, because I think love has more of a value than just money itself. I know having more money can bring you happiness and can make life easier, but I think it's important to not always chase the money and to chase things that actually make you happy. You have everything in the world if you're rich, but being hated, then who do you have to share that with, and who do you have to share experiences with?
¿Cómo debes tratar a alguien que es diferente a ti?
En mi caso, yo soy payaso, y desde que uno empezó este estilo de vida, que no es común, uno recibe críticas. Y en este país que hay muchas personas de muchas nacionalidades, hay que abrir también la mente. Porque hay muchas personas que nada más por la cultura o por una frase se pueden molestar o se pueden incomodar. Por eso que sí que tener cautela, paciencia, respeto y optimizar lo que uno está pensando.
In a society that values individualism, do you think it leads to isolation?
I know that for how things have been started here, and how you can't really put the genie back in the bottle, that this is a place about individualism. The whole task is figuring out if you could do that, if you could be out in the world and feel like you're being yourself and still interacting with other people, where you kind of like can just wither if you stay in forever,
Heavy clouds are hanging around, and the sun refuses to shine. If you're bent on bringing me back down, better get in line.
Are gender roles necessary?
I feel like we're all humanoids. And honestly, I feel like who we are specifically as a person is the interest versus a race, a gender, a sexuality, a blah, blah, blah. Your story is more intriguing than what's between your legs. I mean, just let people be free.
How would you define social awkwardness?
Probably this moment. Just kidding. No. I don't think that people care as much as we think that they care about us. So in our heads, we're just like, oh, if I go up to this person right now and I try and start a conversation, they don't know me, they are probably going to reject me, or they're probably going to think I'm weird. It's just going to be a start of a conversation. So yeah, I definitely think that it's in our heads.
In what ways do you see yourself changing in the future?
We're all hopefully constantly improving, so I'm just hoping to learn from whatever mistakes I make as a parent, and maybe learn about more who I am and how I was raised and why I am the way that I am. I think anger is probably something that I saw when I was growing up with my parents. And I'm like, that's sort of now how I've been like programmed to react in certain situations. And I feel like I'm deprogramming that with myself. So that's something.
Did your parents prepare you for the world?
No, my mom coddled me. I had no idea what the real world was like. My dad, his version of reality is like, they're coming. The problem is that the world keeps changing. They did the best they could. They prepared me for the world that they knew. It's hard to parent.
Do you think physical attraction is just a superficial connection?
No, I mean, I think it could be, just a good way to start. You're drawn to reasons for people that you don't always know, consciously, so I think that could be part of it.
Is it possible to be good friends with somebody who has different beliefs, values, or political views than you do?
Absolutely. I'm sitting there having a conversation with you, and so it's the same difference. I have people in there that I have conversations with, but I have very different views. I can talk to a whole bunch of people, and people that don't do that are not going to get anywhere in life. It's not what you think, it's what you do.
What is one stigma or taboo that we should rethink?
I think we should take more time to try to get to know the person and not the behavior, maybe. I believe stigmas can cause us to automatically put up walls that you have a hard time breaking down, because throughout your life you put up that wall, you don't associate with this behavior or this kind of person. Maybe having a little more grace with people and allowing them room to change instead of seeing them as this addict, seeing them as a person with addiction who could use help.
How do you think humans are unique in the way that we connect with one another?
Language, touch, activity, like entertainment, being able to relate to one another.
Would you rather be alone or in a toxic relationship with someone you love?
I would definitely rather be alone. A lot of the people I know and my friends who have been in relationships like that and who are in relationships like that are like, but I love them. And I'm like, love isn't always enough. Being alone, you can find yourself as a person. You can figure out who you truly are without outside influence. Being in a relationship with a toxic person or an abusive person is just really a bad idea, because when your mental health deteriorates, your physical health deteriorates, and that's not good.
Why is hate so detrimental to us?
Is something that you're going to traumatize yourself with, and then you're going to have to deal with later. So it's just going to be more work. It just takes up too much. Too much of your mental, too much of your spirit, too much of everything.
How do you overcome feelings of despair?
Feels relevant, just like being in my journal the other day and the anxiety that I've been feeling lately. I need to express it almost externally of myself, because that is a very low feeling. I think where you can maybe feel the despair the most. Is this gonna be my life from now on? Tackling that head on and being like, okay, if it is, then what do I do now?
What does it mean for you to be hopeful?
If we're able to just see the beauty inside of whatever we're going through, having moments like these. This is my first time meeting Austin, and I took a chance on answering these questions, and I feel like when we're able to authentically just be ourselves in a loving and healthy and peaceful way, us being more vulnerable with each other is a way of alchemizing hope.
Are any relationships certain?
I don't think there's absolute certainty. Yeah, I think it's mostly built on trust and respect. I think there's always stories of families or even friends just breaking up after a few years of distrust and dishonesty. So yeah, I think for us, we have strong Asian culture, so that's strongly valued. I think tradition helps to develop on what you need to say and then what are the things you can or cannot do.
How do you respect someone's boundaries?
As much as possible. And sometimes that means doing exactly what they ask. But what I find is older people tend to get defensive. They don't necessarily say what they mean. And to say, I don't need anything, I'm well taken care of. I'm from an age before communication was it was digitized. It's very strange to have to email somebody now to say, may I give you a phone call? I used to just make the phone call.
What are ways that intimacy develops between two people?
Going through trials together, hard times, showing up for each other, just time, being around each other for a long time, that can develop intimacy. Obviously the physical connection, things of that nature make it a different experience, but intimacy can be physical and mental. It's very important for human life and connection, I think, yeah.
What do you look for in a community?
Somebody you can call a second family of your own choosing. Communities can be as small as
your 4-person knitting group on a Monday, or as big as like hundreds of people, but as long as you have shared values. And again, not just interests, but like something that you feel passionate about, that you're working towards. I don't think size matters.
How do you right your wrongs with someone you hurt?
Showing change, I probably think is the best way. I feel like you can't really take anything back and you can't go backwards at all. So it's like, how do you proceed forward? It's a real question. And if you actually truly care about someone, be as authentic as you can, respect their wishes, but you gotta always just kind of own up and face it.
Can you describe heartbreak?
Sure. That feeling of loss, or more so change. The dynamics of your relationship with that person change. There's always ups and downs with any relationship. Relationships are hard. I think everyone should have their heart broken so you know what it feels like. Do I wish it on people? Probably not, but I think that if you are experiencing that, then you're trying something new and you're diving into something that could be really uncomfortable and could be really great.
Do you still love people that aren't in your life anymore?
This might sound cliche, but in a sense it's just like you love everybody, you know? It's love, the same force and the same energy. It doesn't go away. You don't have to do anything about it.
Why should we interact more with strangers?
Because I think it is basic human decency to interact with strangers. It costs you nothing to talk to somebody, to smile at someone, to just say, hey, how are you? Sometimes we are in our own little worlds, like we're on our phones, we're just staring at it, whatever, just walking straight on. We could be just dazing and not realizing that somebody made eye contact with you and said hi to you, or think, I don't have to. What's the point? What do I get out of saying hi to this person? You should do it. Like I said, if you have a weird feeling, that's different. To not engage with someone or to not even acknowledge someone's existence, it can be a little heartbreaking. It can be a little bit sad. You know, look at it like that. Look at it as if it's someone who just wants someone to notice them. Not for an attention reason, but just, I'm a human. Like, say hi to me, see me, look at me. And so I think we should do that.